Well, hello, everyone. A special good morning to you and welcome to A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love. I'm Tomas Garza, and as you can see, I have a very special guest joining me today from right up the road in Sedona, Arizona. It's our own Teri Angel. Now, you may know Teri as the host of numerous programs here on Enlightened World Network, including Gratitude, Happy Hour, Morning Cup of Joy, and others. And Teri is involved right now on her Peace on Earth tour. She has been touring the United States and is still touring the United States, bringing land blessings and all kinds of beautiful energy, ceremonies and energy to us here. And Teri has been a long-time student of A Course in Miracles. She joins us today to talk about her experience. Teri, this is a pleasure. Thank you for joining me. Welcome.
Oh, Tomas, thank you for having me on today. And hello, everybody. I know that the family is jumping in because I told them to this morning.
Beautiful. Yeah. And tell us where you're joining us from, too. That's always fun to see in the comments. And what we
It
don't get to,
is.
what we don't get to on the live stream, we'll get to after because we both check our phones all the time. So,
Yes,
we do. We'll
we
get
do.
back to you.
Yeah, I'm kind of addicted to that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so great to be here in Sedona. You know, I lived in Arizona for 3 years and never got up this way. And I'm kicking myself in the butt. I'm like, why did you not get up here prior? Because it is such an amazing place. And even Phoenix, I lived right outside of Phoenix, and there's so much there, so much beauty.
There really is. It's an amazing place. And now you've been in Sedona for a week, and you're going to stay up there for a little while. Then, now what are you doing up there every day? Because you're very, very active.
Yeah, well, when I got here, it was cold and rainy. And
Oh.
so I didn't get out very much in the beginning.
Hmm.
It was just like, ooh, I just need to stay warm right now after the travel. So I rested for a couple of days. And then we did the land blessing.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. It was one of the most powerful land blessings that's been done on this journey. And for those that are not familiar with the journey, let me just say that last September, actually September the 11th of 2020, I left behind everything that I had materially, and I left the state of Florida and traveled all the way across the country, Florida to California. So in almost 9 months, I have gone 12,000 miles. And along the way, there have been now 13 land blessings, which include bringing a blessing from the angels, from anyone that's in the local vicinity that wants to join in, and asking for peace in our land, asking our forefathers, the ancestors, the angels, God, asking for that energy to travel from state to state as I go along to connect and to bring in more peace, love, and joy to the land. So that's the purpose of the mission. That's what I've been doing. But along the way, I have met beautiful, wonderful people, such as yourself, Tomas. I've met you and your wonderful wife, Cindy, and spent an afternoon just really getting to know more about you and what you two are all about. And we'll be seeing you again soon when I
Yes.
head back down to Phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's been the beauty of all of this, is the people along the way that are encouraging and supporting and are right in alignment with this mission of having peace on earth.
Yes. Yeah. And it's wonderful. And you're in just a wonderful place in Sedona with
Mhm.
a lot
Yes.
of energy to it. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, one of the places I went to is called Peace Park. I don't know if you're familiar with Sedona, but it's a stupa,
Uh,
which has shrines and it has statues. And one of the things that's there is a path to peace walk where people can purchase a brick to place. And with that money, that's used to purchase the brick, they are making it handicapped accessible. So our group, the Angelic River family, has come together and decided that we want to have a brick there talking about the Peace on Earth tour
Beautiful.
and bringing the message of peace. So we will be doing that. We will have a brick on that walk and contribute to making it something that everybody can enjoy, not just those that can climb up the hill, but for everyone to be able to experience it.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that particular stupa, but there's so much up there, and that's wonderful. So you're leaving quite a bit of peace and joy and loving energy everywhere
Yes.
you go. So
Mhm.
fantastic. This is wonderful. And you're up to so much. And I know that you have been a student of A Course in Miracles for 30
Mhm.
years, which is a lot longer than I
Yeah.
have. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, actually, it's about 35 years now
okay.
that I first discovered it. When I was on a mission to find myself. And I
Mhm.
was in the New England area, actually in Boston. And I got introduced to some wonderful people while I was there. And a group of them were studying A Course in Miracles. And I'm going, what's that? I know what a miracle is. So I want to know more about how you find miracles, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So we would meet weekly and just cuss and discuss because it was very new then. So there wasn't a whole lot of help like we have now, the resources that we have, like, the internet, where
Yeah.
we can look up things and say, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So we just spent a lot of time in those initial years of just trying to figure out what that meant and what it was saying and how we could incorporate more of it into our lives. And that's what I found is the power of it, Tomas.
Mhm.
It's not so much, the discipline. I don't think of doing it. I mean, it's great to do it every day, but it's really integrating it in with who you are and letting it become a part of you. And I feel like that's what's happened to me over the years. It's not that I pick up the book and I preach from the book or quote the book. It's the whole essence of forgiveness,
Mhm.
of love, of the oneness. That's what I receive. Is just the oneness that we're all in this together. As Ram Dass says, we're all walking each other home.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
So this is just one tool for us to utilize on that walk to be able to come to peace, to come to the understanding that the book helps us to reach of the oneness and just the power of examining ourselves and looking at this is more than just a 3D experience. Thank God. If
Yes.
this was all there was, we'd all be in trouble.
Mm.
But I know that you just covered day 79.
Yes.
And I am learning from Pam Grout, who is a very wonderful, well-known author. And she, 2 years ago, I believe, wrote the book, A Course in Miracles Experiment.
Okay. Mhm.
And I'd like to quote her quote from day 79. She always puts a very profound quote before she goes into the teaching of the
Okay.
day.
Wow.
And this one is from, and I can't say this name very well, so you might want to help me with it. Thich Nhat Hanh.
Yeah. Yeah. Thich Nhat Hanh. Uh-huh.
Thich Nhat Hanh, thank you. For things to reveal themselves, we need to be ready to abandon our views about them. Wow, mic drop, right?
Yes.
It's like, yeah. And it sounds so easy. Just abandon those views, right? But that's what I have found is the more we get into that, into the energy of losing what we perceive or what we have this bias about things, when we can lose that and step away from it for a minute, just stop, as my friend Karen says, self take over, please. That's the higher self.
Oh, yeah.
Take over, please. And just let me step away. Let me hit that pause button. And if I'm having a thought about something that's from a patterned belief, from experiences in my life, just look at that. Look at that belief. Examine it. Am I holding an old thought that no longer works for me? Is there something that I'm bringing into the now that really I could have left behind years ago in the past?
Yeah.
That's the power of switching from that predetermined belief and opening up to possibilities. And to me, that's what this course helps us do. It helps us open to possibilities. What is possible? What is the potential? And we live in a world of infinite potential.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah, and it's very interesting that you've characterized it as about integration, because when I lead groups and workshops related to A Course in Miracles, I find that there's a lot of hang up that exists, or potential for hang up about not doing things right. And I think that's a beautiful message, that it's about incorporating and integrating this into your life. Now, what has been your biggest aha moment in 35 plus years that stems from this material?
Oh my gosh, the biggest one to me
Mhm.
is that nothing is as it seems to be. And that's one of the first lessons of the course. And when we can grasp that, when we can fully grasp nothing is as it seems to be, then we can move forward from there. But if we get hung up on seeing something, either what we determine to be bad in it, or that it's something that we don't want, then we're stuck. It's getting unstuck through really examining, like I said, just stepping away and saying, that's really not real. That really is just an illusion there. Even like what the course teaches, even the chair we sit on, that's not real. We think it is, we perceive that it is, and we believe it is, or else we wouldn't be able to sit on it, right?
Mhm.
Our belief is so powerful. And I'm going to quote a good friend of mine. I love her dearly, Allie O'Shea.
Okay.
And she says, a belief is just a thought you keep on believing. And when we really look at that sentence, that's profound. That is profound. When we look at those beliefs that bring us to this place we are right now, it's like, wow, we've been thinking that thought, over and over and over again without even looking at what am I saying? What am I thinking? So that's another tool that I use. What am I thinking? And if I go into a judgment about something, I can just step away and say, what am I thinking? How am I perceiving this? And what eyes am I perceiving it through? Are they the eyes that nothing is as it seems to be? So I need to really step away and look at the whole picture. Or am I caught up in one of those narrow-minded beliefs that puts somebody in a category or puts something in a category that's unreachable? And, in Esther Hicks' teaching of Abraham, Abraham says it's just as easy to manifest a mansion as it is a button, showing us the power of not comparing, not saying something is higher than or lesser than or greater than, but seeing everything in its equality, seeing everything as the same. And when we can just lose that thought that there is more than us, there's something bigger, there's something better than what we might have. I might have $100, you've got $1,000. Oh my gosh, you've got so much more than me. It's all energy. It's all energy. And when we can just see it for what it is and get out of the illusion and realize that nothing is as it seems, then we're on our way to opening up to miracles. And like I said, when I first heard Course in Miracles, I'm like, yeah, I want to learn how to do miracles. I want to learn how to bring those miracles into my life. And I believe, I truly believe in my heart and know that I have brought miracles into my life through the mindset. And it is a change in your mindset. It's a shift in the way that things were to the way that things are, staying in the now moment.
Yeah, and for those who may not be familiar or are just starting out with A Course in Miracles, that pretty much literally is the definition of a miracle, is a shift from fear-based thoughts to loving thoughts. quite
Yeah.
simply. And Teri, you just summarized also one of the famous ideas from the Course. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is just like another.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful when
Yeah.
you think about it? Because sometimes we think, oh my gosh, it would be so hard to let's say, clear COVID from our planet. But it's just the same as it would be to cure, let's say, diabetes,
Yeah.
or manage it. There's really no cure, but to manage it, it's
Right.
just the same. Everything is the same. There's no harder or lesser. It's just everything is. And many times I really go back to Eckhart Tolle as well. I love all these wonderful teachers that have
Oh,
been
yeah.
given to us over the years.
Yes.
Eckhart just teaches us to stay in the now moment, the isness of all that is. And when we do that, then we know that there's nothing that's impossible,
Yeah.
nothing. And people are seeing impossibility and not seeing that can be shifted, that can be turned around, and
Yes.
things are possible.
Right. They are, like you said a minute ago, everything is about possibilities. And, with all of your experience with this text, with this self-study curriculum, and having it integrated into your life, what suggestions would you have for people that are curious about A Course in Miracles and maybe they're not sure if they want to delve into it at all?
Yeah, I would say give it a chance. Give it a chance. When I first heard of it and started into the book, and back then it was 3 books. There was a really big, thick, big, thick book,
Yes.
and that's what you read. And then you did the student manual, and eventually, if you understood more of it, you could do the teacher's manual. But give it a chance. Don't just read the first line or the first lesson and say, oh, that doesn't make any sense at all. I don't think that's for me. I'm not in alignment with that. Go into it with an open mind. The more we can go into something and open up to it, to its energy, it will reveal itself for what it is. And it will help us to understand ourselves so much better. We understand this 3D journey. We understand spirituality, all from this book. It's so amazing. And the thing that comes out so clearly throughout the whole book is love. Love is all there is.
Yeah.
Everything else, it's just the illusion. It's just us going through the steps of our spiritual growth. We have experiences in this life for a purpose. It's
Yes.
not to punish us. It's not to, to harm us. They're all to help us understand our spirit even more. We are a spirit living in these bodies. And the more we can have experiences, the bigger the experience, the bigger the spiritual growth. This is what I found. And these experiences that I've gone through this lifetime, I said to somebody just yesterday, I think I ordered the whole buffet. It's like, I'm not going to just sample, I'm going to take the whole plate.
It's like one of
But
everything. Yeah.
yeah, like, can I have more of that, please? But the experiences bring us through the fire to a better, more polished state where we can see more clearly, we can hear more clearly. And when you start into the course, just go into it with the attitude of teach me. I'm open, so teach me, because it is a teacher.
Yes.
And the words that were channeled through, some of them may sound strange to you, some of them may not be language that you're familiar with, but just allow. And I love another friend that says, accept, align, allow.
Right.
Just allow the experience to unfold the way it's going to unfold, because it'll be different for you than it is for me, than it is for Tomas. Each of us will go into that teaching, learning what we need, what our soul needs, what our 3D needs here in this experience, to accept each other more, to love each other more, to honor and respect each other more. So if you want more love in your life, if you want more peace and joy just give it a chance.
Mhm.
Open it up, read that first chapter, and then step away. That's what my suggestion is. Read it and step away,
Mhm.
because then the miracle of the opening will happen. And it's not anything you can force. It's not something you can say, I'm going to do this, and um, stubbornly go into it open and ready to receive what's there.
Yes, I love that because it's about openness. And you've summarized that spirituality is all about experience. So it really actually doesn't matter if the unfamiliar terminology exists and it trips you up. In that allowing, we open to an experience. And I love, by the way, that you mentioned ordering the whole buffet. So is there a buffet item that you'd like to comment on that you've had?
Oh my goodness. I think it's the item of abuse. And abuse comes in many forms. When you undergo somebody else's rage, somebody that doesn't understand themselves even, and they project that onto you,
Mhm.
you feel like a victim.
Yeah.
And what I have learned through years, since childhood, of dealing with manipulation and abuse is that it's only going to affect me to the point that I allow it. And when I finally got that message through and finally understood that lesson, that it's not about me, that other person has the issue to deal with of the way that they're treating others with disrespect, with dishonor, with disregard,
Mhm.
that I can stay in my own power by knowing who I am. And this book, The Course in Miracles, has helped me through the years to know who I am and to honor myself and to see that it's all up to me. I have choices, I have decisions. And that choice will be to not allow anything outside of myself determine how I'm going to act, how I'm going to speak, how I'm going to feel inside. That's the empowerment part of the Course in Miracles. It helps you to understand your own power and who you are.
Mhm.
And that's what I have discovered, that I finally got the message. I finally got the memo that it's not about anybody else. It's all what's inside. And so that was one big lesson that I came here this lifetime to, I think, to finalize,
Okay.
to really understand that I am my power. Um, One of my mentors says, you are your own superhero. And
Mhm.
yeah, we can't wait for somebody else to come in and rescue us. We're our own rescue. We have to come to the forefront and say, enough, I'm taking my power back. And
Yeah,
that's been a lifelong journey from us. It
sure.
has not been something that has come easy.
Mhm.
And the triggering that can happen when you've gone through years of that will happen. But knowing knowledge is power, knowing that I have all the tools, all the skills I need to handle anything that comes up now. It's like, yeah, I can stand in my own power. I can be that superhero and say enough is enough and I'm not taking it anymore. So that was one of the biggest lessons in this lifetime, was dealing with manipulation and abuse.
Okay. Yeah, well, and thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's a very powerful message because it's so common. It's so common
Mhm.
in people's lives and experience, and it's very important for people to know that there are many ways that one can actually integrate all of these lessons and learn and move beyond all of these situations, whatever your situation, if you're watching this live or on the replay, whatever your situations are, each of us has particular lessons to learn in this lifetime. And this can be just a fabulous tool for shedding light on the truth of who you really are. So,
Yeah.
Teri, this is really quite wonderful. I've learned a great deal in just a short amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun and my pleasure. So before we wrap up, we've got several people that are here joining us today, including
Okay.
from New York City and Robert from Romania. So welcome.
Hi, Robert.
Hello,
Yes.
Robert. Yeah. Well, I always want to pop in and say hi, right? So thank you all for joining us. And Bernadette, hey, Bernadette's from Canada. And hello,
Yes.
Bernadette. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, and this is so much fun because it's a global audience. And Teri, in case people missed at the outset about the Peace on Earth tour, would you mind sharing a couple more words about what you're doing there and where people can find out more information about that?
Absolutely. Thank you. The website is peaceonearthtour.live,
Okay.
and it contains the videos of all the land blessings, because that is one thing that I've been doing, is recording it. I try to go live if possible, but sometimes it's in a remote area and there's no internet or Wi-Fi, so I'm unable to do that. So I just record it and upload it, which was the case with this most recent one here in Sedona. We hiked back into the mountain to this wonderful spot right at Cathedral Rock, which
Yeah.
is a very well-known place here
Oh,
in
yeah.
Sedona. And I could see Cathedral Rock as we were doing the blessing, and there was a bubbling little creek behind us. But with each land blessing, there is a stone or more stones, more than one, that's placed into the ground, and a blessing is given by the angels, by God, by the ancestors. We offer an offering to the land, and then we just say words of peace over the land and ask for peace to come in to every inhabitant, not just the people, but also to the animals, to the trees, to nature, to the waters. And that has happened 13 times now, physically. We've also done one virtually
Okay.
with Ruth in Colorado. We did one at Garden of the Gods while she was there.
Okay.
And that's going to be, I think, more of those coming up. And I believe it's in September, I have to get my dates right, but there's going to be one worldwide where in the week of unity, we will be leading one for anyone in the world that wants to bring a land blessing to their land, wherever they are, we'll be doing that. I take requests. If somebody wants me to come to where you are and do a land blessing, you can go on that website that I mentioned, peaceonearthtour.live, and contact me, or you can go on angelspeakers.com, which is my main website, and there's a contact form there that you can reach out to me, or you can just send me a message on social media. I'm everywhere on all of them.
Yes, yeah, yeah, everywhere, and here, especially on Enlightened World Network, and
Yes.
this is again the websites peaceonearthtour.live and angelspeakers.com, which we'll also put here in the comments, so
Thank
you
you.
all that are tuning in can access this. So Teri, this has been such a pleasure. It's always a joy to
Yes.
connect with you, and I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks live. Any
Yeah.
the last thoughts before we leave here?
Every day I say, stay in your heart. Stay in your heart.
Hmm.
It's never going to lie to you. If you start seeing things that you're uncomfortable with, or that are giving you an icky feeling, and it feels like low vibration energy, you're in your ego. You're looking at something like the Course says. It's not what it seems. Go back to your heart.
Mhm.
And when you're in your heart, just ask, what am I seeing? What am I thinking? And when you're in your heart space, it's only love. Only, I say this every day, only love and light is welcome here in my
Mm.
heart. Only love and light. And if I can stay in that space, all that other stuff that's perceived to be there, it just falls away. And I just stay in that space in my heart of pure love. And it's not that I'm burying my head in the sand about problems, because problems are here in the 3D.
Yeah.
But when I stay in the heart, it's so much easier to handle those problems and to help others through whatever they're going through, their grief or sadness or anger, whatever it might be. Just stay in your heart. Always remember that.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. Stay in your heart. And Teri, thank you so much for joining me here today. This has been a real pleasure, and I can't wait
Thank
to do it
you.
again soon.
Yes,
Yes, if
please. I
anybody,
love this.
Teri will be back. We just all right. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love with special guest Teri Angel. And I'll be back here on Monday, and I will continue on in the workbook for students next week. And Teri, thank you so much again. This has been wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, Tomas. Much love.
Yes, much love to you too, and to all of you tuning in. Thank you for joining us.